Hey everyone, Freddy here, fired up as we start 2025. For most people, they are ready to run right now. Holidays are over, New Year's over. For some people, today being the 6th of January, it's Three Kings Day, Reyes Mago. So happy Three Kings Day to you, those that celebrate it. God bless you guys. I'm excited, I'm fired up because we're ready for the best year of our life. And those that follow me by now, most people are entrepreneurs or in sales, very likely in network marketing and or working with me directly. And so I will be committed to coming out a couple times a week in English and a couple times a week in Spanish to share with you guys some insights that can help you advance your business, develop your mindset, tap a little bit into my 25 years of experience in network marketing, my high highs, my low lows, and my run right now, which I firmly believe is going to be my biggest run ever. Just nuts what's happened the last couple months since we started. Found a traction marketing system where you copy and paste, attract your ideal customer. And guys, I will tell you, in the last couple of months, I have brought on brand new customers, more brand new customers in the last couple of months than I have in my 25 plus years in network marketing put together. And so definitely I'm onto something and it's duplicating like crazy. So I'll leave you with that. But number one, I want to talk about 4 inevitables of network marketing, because I think that as much excitement as I'm going through, as much growth that I've had in the past, fortunately, once I got going, between experience and combination of mentoring and experience, I realized these 4 inevitables. Number one, obviously, sometimes when things are going well, you don't realize certain things because you're just so focused on gas. And you focus on those that want it, those that are hungry, those that want to build it, those that are excited, those that are building, those that are growing, those that are making checks and bringing people and doing the thing. And you don't realize there are some people that are not, right? There might be some key people that are not. And then you start saying, well, why is this? Why is this happening? And so I'm going to talk about 4 things that if you're going to build something in the network marketing realm, they're inevitables. Some are basic, some are a little more advanced, but they affect us all. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how big of a team you've had. I don't care how much, even if you're making $1 million a month, you run into this, right? And so I'm going to start with the basic, because I think that, this basic number 1 of the 4 things, it affects us all. I don't care how good you are. I don't care. I'm a big fan of Big Al, Tom Schreiber. I was listening to some of his icebreakers the other day. I just found out, or would it be great if, or, what if, like all his one-liners of breaking, icebreakers and then, how to get people going. I think it's vital that you sharpen your skill set. Absolutely. But even if you have that skill set, because of timing, because of people, because of who you're talking to, what's going on, a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still, right? And if it's not the right timing, it's not that they're the wrong person, it just may not be the right timing. So you're planting seeds moving on, and whatnot. But let's go through the 4 real quick. Number 1, people will say no. Boom. I think, you go to a presentation or you listen to a Zoom, you're jacked up because people are getting crazy results on a product. People are making crazy income. It's like, it's magic, right? You just sign up and make money. And the reality is people are going to tell you no. People are going to tell you no when you get in. People are going to tell you no when you make money. People are going to tell you when you're a superstar in your company and you're on the cover of the magazine and you're on the video. They're going to say no to you. That's reality. People will say no. And, if you're mentally tough and you get that because of, prior experiences in other industries, when you come to network marketing, then you understand it's just, who cares? It's a numbers game. Some will, some won't, so what next, right? Keep going. But most people, especially if you've never been in a sales environment or interacted with people, you don't understand that. And that can take you out of the game. Somebody tells you, a family member, you're excited, you call them and, you respect them and admire them because they're successful or you believe they are successful or you look up to them and they say no, it's like they go, boo, and you're done, right? They say, oh, it's one of those things or whatever. You're toast, right? So you've got to become mentally tough and understand that that's part of the process. We don't get paid. We get paid, yes, for the yeses, but, for the amount of no's we have to go through to find those yeses, right? I think it's Jim Rohn that has a great, he talks about the law of averages, right? If you talk to enough people, a ratio will appear, right? Talk to 10, get 1. Talk to 10, get 1. So once you know your ratio, you're going to find that, out of X amount of people you talk to, there'll be people that are, the timing's right in their life and they're ready to rock and roll and they will say yes, right? But the rest, it's not their right timing. So it is what it is. Let them go, right? Plant the seed and go, plant the seed and go. Be the example, make it happen in spite of them so they want to join you and they have a reason to join you in a couple months, right? So that's number one. Number two, people are going to tell you they're going to do something and not do it. And guys, I think this is probably worse than people telling you no. Because now you're jacked up. They're going to sign up with that big pack, or they're going to show up to your convention, or they're going to show up to your house. They're going to bring people, and they don't do it, right? Or maybe even worse, they get in and they don't do anything, right? They say they're going to do something and they don't do anything, right? They invite you over to their house and you show up and all of a sudden the lights go out, right? It happens, guys. It's, we're dealing with people. It's a volunteer army and people do things for their reasons, not yours and mine. Our job is in the process to sift and sort and find those for whom the timing is right, that are ready, willing, and able to take action when, now. And that's why I think the internet is so powerful. Social media is so powerful because it opens up a plethora of possibilities to people. One of the reasons, I opened up with telling you guys about the social media attraction marketing system that we have in our company. I think it's beautiful because, people are attracting people to them and there's a lot of people out there. So if you have a system that you can copy and paste and, attract the masses, then, you're probably going to have success while you're learning the skills. I still think the skill set's important, but in the beginning, it'll help you have some success to get you motivated, to get you excited to keep going. It shouldn't be that way, but that's how you work with energy. Number three, people will quit. And this becomes very challenging for that new person in the industry because now they're like, I have a team of so many people, and all of a sudden, people quit. And guys, most people quit. Most people are quitters. The Pareto principle is 80-20, right? 80% of people will not do something. It's 20% that make the difference. I think in network marketing, it's probably like 95-5, sometimes 99-1. You're like, oh my God, what happened to all these people? Guys, not everybody buys in. Not everybody, people buy an emotion and then they think later. And sometimes they think and, whether it's a ego thing and, whatever it is, a friend, told them boo and they quit, right? Whatever it is, people do things for their reasons, not yours and mine. So our job is to keep sharing, right? To keep going. And the last thing I'll tell you is that leaders, and going back to the people quit, think about it right now. Right now is New Year's Eve. This is the number one time that people sign up for gyms, right? Mass quantities. You know that gyms, if everybody that actually signed up showed up, they could not handle that. It would be a fire hazard times 10 or more, depending on the gym and the offer and the time of the year, right? And the location. Gyms bank on the fact that people are going to sign up and never show up again. Literally pay $200, $500, whatever they pay for a gym, for a personal trainer, buy the gear and everything, and never freaking show up. So why do you think you're going to be different, right? That people are not going to quit whatever you do, whatever you're offering, no matter how great it is, no matter how inspiring, how impactful it is, what makes you think that that's going to happen, right? And so I share that with you because at the end of the day, guys, people will quit. And if you have big goals and dreams, you got to keep on going in spite of them. Maybe they'll come back later. Maybe they won't. Who cares? Move on, right? You have no control over other people is my main thing. And the last thing is number 4, leaders will leave. You'll have people that will run through the pin ranks and actually build a big team. And all of a sudden, because of XYZ reason, decide to go somewhere else. And you're like, oh, what do you mean? How can they do this to me? What don't they see? What do they know that I don't know? Guys, everybody, whether it's, they don't connect with you, they don't like your company, they don't like this, they don't like that. Or maybe that's the way their life is. They just, they like to change things every now and then. Leaders will leave, right? And so I don't share this to disappoint you. I'm coming from, in 2025, from a position of empowering, inspiring you and building your mental toughness, because I firmly believe knowledge is not power, but it's potential power. But, if you apply it, right? But you've got to know first, right? If you don't know what you don't know, all of a sudden you encounter something, you don't know how to react, you don't know how to respond. But if you say, man, Freddy told me about this. Freddy's been doing this for a while. He's built, massive teams. He's made millions of dollars in this industry and helped a lot of people win. And he's telling me that number one, people will tell him no. People still say no. People will tell him they're going to do something and not do it. A lot of people do that. People will quit on him, right? and leaders will leave. Guys, that's everywhere. I don't know one top leader. You know, one of the top leaders, and I'm going to throw a name out there I don't normally throw, is a guy named Alex Morton, a young guy that, younger than me, obviously. I'm forever 21, but he's built, you know, some massive team right now with the company. He's been there for like, you know, since, what was that, like 2017 when he got started. And he's built a massive team. He's made a lot of money, right? I don't know what he's making now, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it's over $1 million a month, right? And he's been doing that for a while. You know how many leaders have left his team? I don't think it bothers him. Obviously, it bothers him because, I mean, nobody wants anybody to leave, but you keep going. And so I share that with you because, you know, our job is to understand that as long as we want to continue to, as long as we want to have a successful business, we've got to lead by example. We got to always be in phase one, which is prospecting, recruiting, attracting new customers, new leaders. We got to be doing what we want our team to do. You know, John Maxwell says, leaders lead, right? They don't talk, they lead, they take action. They do what they expect other people to do, not tell them what to do. They do it themselves. You can't expect people to do something you're not doing yourself. And so every time somebody tells me my business fell apart or whatever, I'm like, well, what have you done? Right? You know, all our businesses fall apart, but some do better than others because we don't stop, right? And so if you're building, if you're on a run, if you're starting 2025 and this is going to be the biggest year of your life, you can't stop, right? Even if you take a vacation, it's a workation, right? You still connect, you still prosper, you still do Zooms. Yeah, you have your time with your family and disconnect a little bit, but you don't fully unplug, right? When you're in the middle of a run or if you want to do something big, you can't do that, right? It's just, remember what we do in network marketing is we compress time. If all of a sudden you start making what you make annually at your job monthly here, that means in 1 year, you can compress 12 years. In 3 years, you're compressing a lifetime pretty much. So yeah, you're probably going to have to make some sacrifices that you probably wouldn't normally do. But is it worth it? In my case, absolutely, right? That's what you have to answer. And if you don't believe so and the business doesn't go well, then you've got to understand, you know, why, right? Obviously, if you have systems in place, things will flow. And that's the idea as a leader and as you build something big. But you got to keep going, right? You got to keep going. You got to keep going. Last thing I'll tell you is, you know, you got to stay consistent and persistent until you reach what you want to do. There are people searching and praying for what you have. They don't know it exists. So that's why you always have to keep on prospecting. You have to keep on marketing. You have to keep on sharing the message. You have to keep on connecting with people. You have to keep on tap rooting. You have to keep going, you know, till you get there. I think, you know, one of the guys that inspired me to be the way I am, to be relentless. I mean, I've always been relentless, but I mean, in network marketing, understanding the dynamics of being relentless in network marketing, because every industry has relentless. You can work, but, you know, more specifically know what to do. Was a guy named Jordan Adler, who was in my first network marketing company, Excel Communications. He did extremely well back then. Met him in the late 90s. And he's a top earner in another company. I remember I had a heart-to-heart conversation with him because my first big build, which was a juice company in the 2000s, did extremely well, made a multiple six-figure income. And when the economy tanked, the whole thing fell apart. And I was, none of these four things, maybe the last two I really don't understand. This leader is leaving and people quitting thing. Like I didn't get that shit. You know, we had an amazing product, an amazing comp plan. Everything was beautiful. Like why would this happen, right? And so he's making close to $200,000 a month. And I'm like, what does that look like? Because I'd never made that money. You know, I made 15, 20, 30,000, but I never made, you know, 200 grand a month. And so I'm like, what does that look like? And he's like, well, listen, at this point in that company, he had been there, I think, for like 5 years. And he told me, Freddie, I've enrolled about 200 people. 90% of my income comes from 8 people. You know, the other 8% comes from 192 people. He goes, I've basically every week since I started, brought in one new person and ran them to that first rank that we all want to hit. Every company has that first rank that you want to hit. You want somebody to hit in their first 4 weeks, in the first day, in the first, you know, that rank. He goes, I would personally bring one person in and run them to that rank. So they would hit that first pin rank. And that's basically the building block of my company. So I would do it and teach people to do the same thing. And so he told me, Freddie, I've been doing that ever since. And he goes, I'll tell you, out of the 200 people I enrolled, you know, of the 8 people that I have, they make, you know, 90% of my income. He was making close to 200 grand a month. He told me, bro, you know, The people that I thought were going to do them, they did nothing. The people that had the most potential pretty much did nothing. You know, the people I barely thought, you know, maybe one or two that I thought were going to do did, but most of them were people I didn't even think were going to do or know them, right? And so I share that with you because I think the moral of the story is understanding these four inevitables of network marketing, that you've got to have a vision of what you want to do. You've got to stay persistent and consistent to the daily activities that it requires. And in the process, you will attract the right people, the right situations. The ones that want to build will stay. The ones that want to leave will leave. But you'll keep going. You keep the machine going, and it's inevitable. People are going to come to you. And because you persisted and because you kept going, and as a result, you started rank advancing and making crazy income that people that left did not or cannot, some of those people will come back. Maybe you want them back, maybe you don't, but they'll come back. And I've lived this, right? And so, you know, starting the new year, I just want to plant the seed for those that want to build something big, that number one, people will say no. Number two, people will tell you they're going to do something and not do it. And that's okay. You have no control over anyone. It's a volunteer army. Number three, people will quit. Most people quit. So network marketing is no different. If they've quit, if they've divorced, if they've, closed down a business, if they've stopped working out, if they've quit on their diet, if they quit on alcohol, whatever it is, there's no different, right? And number four, leaders will leave because it's a volunteer army and people do things for their reasons, not yours and mine. You know, in Spanish, there's a phrase that I adopted a long time ago from a famous Mexican comedian that used to be popular when I was a little kid, El Chapulín Colorado. He says, "Sígame lo bueno," and it basically says, "Follow me." If you know, the good people follow me, right? And so that just means, you know, you do your thing, and people will follow if it's the right thing for them, right? And hopefully, not only will they follow you, but you inspire them to have people follow them and become the leaders they want to be, right? Lead them the right way. You're leading by example, inspire them to become the best version of themselves and become independent and reach their financial goals and whatever that is. So anyhow, I hope something I shared with you guys today enlightened you, gave you some clarity, helps with your mental toughness in 2025, because you will go through peaks and valleys. The question is not, are you going to go through them? The question is, what are you going to do in spite of them? Because winners win. Why? Because they keep going. They just move in spite of it. Like the ant theory from Jim Rohn. You know, ants, if you see them in a line, you know, they're going towards where they're going. You put your foot, they're going to go over or they're going to around. But unless you step on them, they're going to keep going. You've got to be like the ants. You got to keep going and going and going. Or like the guy from A.O. Williams used to say, just do it and do it and do it and do it. But Al, you know, till when? You just do it and 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 do it till the job gets done. And then people will say, wow, you're so lucky. I can't believe you've done so well. Wow, you're so lucky. I can't believe you've hit this or impacted that. Wow, you're so lucky. What's your secret? I just did it and did it and did it and did it and did it. When people said no, I did it and did it and did it. When people told me they were going to show up and did it. When I did it and did it and did it. When people quit, I did it and did it and did it. When some of my key leaders left, I just did it and did it and did it and did it. And that's why I'm such a massive success. Guys, that has got to be your story in 2025 at the end of the year, when you are being recognized for kicking some butt in whatever you decide to do. Persistence, consistency, being relentless. 2025, let's go, baby. Peace.